Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Parasphere. Yes, they are here, and they've always been sphere. Ross Coulthart is an Australian investigative journalist and author who has also worked in public relations. He's an advocate for the idea that governments are covering up knowledge of UFOs and ET or ultra-terrestrial visitations. Let's go ahead and see what Ross has to say on the subject of the sphere UAPs.
So firstly, the spheres. So in a need to know, it was a need to know episode. There was a guy called Jim Marlin, who's Willie Nelson's former band manager, and quite apart from the fact that he smoked an enormous amount of dope and was the coolest guy I've met in a very long time. Jim had this crazy story that he literally was. He was at the home of a well-known rock star in the mountains, and there was this pile of spheres lying on the ground, and his rock star friend told him that they'd literally been sitting on the back porch the previous night, and a craft had literally dropped them into the forest, and they think that the house was so hidden in the forest, whatever it was didn't realise that there were humans there. Anyway, one of his mates said, "You can take one of these spheres." And Jim claims, and I have to admit we did see anomalous stuff with this sphere. Jim claims that this sphere does things, that it moves around on its own account. And more importantly, there's a history of such spheres going back to the 1970s, a family called the Betts family in Florida. And the so-called Betts sphere used to wobble around the house and literally sort of go around chairs and then come back again. And it was like their pet, but it was a sphere. And I heard about this guy called Jim Marlin from a guy called Patrick Jackson in the UK who studies these spheres. Patrick has made a study and written a book about these spheres that he believes are some kind of non-human intelligence that is purportedly protecting the planet from unfriendly NHIs. And it's a fascinating book. I commend it to you. Patrick Jackson, I've forgotten the name of the book. Quantum Paranormal. And anyway, Patrick said, "You've got to go and meet this guy, Jim Marlin." And so we put this into our story, and it was really funny because while we were there, it started moving around the house. And I'd got my phone and I'd measured the floor to make sure that the floor was completely level. And literally it's under its own power moving around the house. And anyway, I rang Professor Gary Nolan because I knew Gary had an interest in this area. And Gary has access to a materials science laboratory, really high-end lab, because a lot of people have said to me, "Why don't you just cut this thing open?" Jim won't let me. It's his pet. He doesn't want it destroyed. But more importantly, people have tried to cut these things open and they haven't been able to cut them. There's no visible seams, no way of opening these things. They're literally just a big, heavy 40-something pound sphere. And so we had this thing where basically Jim didn't want to let go of it because what happened with the Betts family in the 1970s was media had filmed it literally moving around the house under its own power. Then the US Air Force came, took it away for a while, and it came back and it was inert. It wasn't doing anything anymore. And the family think that what they were given back was something different from what they gave the Air Force. And look, it is clear, I can't say a lot, but it is clear to me from my conversations with people, they know what these spheres are. They're real, whatever they are. And all I can tell you, ma'am, about the metallic sphere that we got is it is being investigated, but for very good reasons. I'm not revealing anything about where it is, who's got it, and what's being investigated. But watch this space.
Thank you for watching the Parasphere. We hope you enjoy our videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more historical accounts, sightings and disclosure of these sphere UFOs from the past and present. And remember, keep your eyes to the skies and stay curious.